The room smelled like expensive cologne and quiet judgment. Gold records lined the studio walls. Platinum plaques framed in glass. Hit singles. Billboard charts. Industry power. And in the center of it all sat Victor Kane, one of the biggest music producers in the country, known for making stars, known for having an ear, known for ending careers before they even began. Across from him sat a 22-year-old artist with a backpack at his feet. No entourage, no manager, no famous last name, just a USB drive and a dream. Victor pressed play, listened for exactly 27 seconds, then stopped it. "Yeah," he said flatly, "this isn't it." The artist blinked. I didn't even get to the hook." Victor leaned back in his leather chair. "You don't have the look. The sound is dated. And honestly," he shrugged, "it's not marketable." Silence. Then the final blow. Next. What Victor didn't know was that the unmarketable track he dismissed would soon have 50 million streams, and his name attached to the rejection. His name was Jalen Carter, raised in a 2-bedroom apartment above a laundromat. His mother worked reception at a dental clinic. His father drove city buses. They weren't connected. They weren't wealthy, but they believed in him. Jalen had been writing songs since middle school. Not just rhymes, not just hooks, full compositions, melody lines layered in his head before he ever touched a keyboard. He taught himself production using free software and borrowed headphones, watched tutorials at 2 a.m., recorded vocals in a closet lined with winter coats to reduce echo. His sound? A fusion of soul, alternative R&B, and subtle hip-hop textures. Different, not radio cookie cutter. And that was a problem, because the industry often says it wants originality until it hears it. The meeting with Victor Kane didn't happen by accident. Jalen had spent months sending emails, cold DMs, submitting demos to assistants. Finally, someone on Victor's junior team replied, "Come in Tuesday. 5 minutes. 5 minutes." That was all he needed. He prepared obsessively, chose his strongest track, a song called Invisible Crown. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about flexing. It was about feeling unseen, overlooked, still carrying yourself like royalty anyway. He wore his best outfit, simple but clean, walked into the studio with his heart pounding, and left 12 minutes later, feeling smaller than when he walked in. Victor didn't just reject the song. He dissected it. The intro's too slow. You don't sound confident. Who's your target audience? Then he added something that lingered longer than the rest. You're talented, but talent isn't enough. You don't have the image labels want right now. Jalen swallowed. What image is that? Victor gave a tight smile. Trendy. Meeting over. No handshake. No encouragement. Just dismissal. As Jalen stepped into the elevator, he replayed the moment in his head. Not angry, just tired. Tired of being told he didn't fit. But something inside him refused to let that be the final word. That night, Jalen made a decision. No label, no producer, no approval. He uploaded Invisible Crown to social media himself. No marketing budget, just a caption. Was told this isn't marketable. Maybe it's just honest. He tagged no one. Went to bed. Woke up to 3,000 views. Not huge, but unusual. By lunchtime, it hit 25,000. Comments poured in. Why does this hit so hard? Who told you this wasn't it? This feels real. Someone clipped the chorus and posted it separately. That clip exploded because the hook wasn't flashy. It was relatable. Even when you don't see me shining, I'm still wearing my invisible crown. By the weekend, 1 million views. Here's what the industry sometimes forgets. Algorithms don't care about gatekeepers. They care about engagement. And people were connecting. TikTok creators used the song for transformation videos, graduation posts, fitness journeys, even small business launch announcements. The phrase Invisible Crown started trending. Jalen's follower count doubled daily. Streaming platforms picked up the traction. Playlists added the track organically. Within 3 weeks, 10 million streams, and climbing. Victor Kane first heard about it from his assistant. "Hey, remember that kid? The one you passed on." Victor frowned. "Which one?" "The not marketable one." Victor listened to the viral version alone in his office. This time, he let it play, past 27 seconds, past the hook, all the way through. The production was clean, the vocal tone controlled, the songwriting layered. It wasn't trendy. It was timeless. Victor exhaled slowly, then did what powerful people often do when surprised. He pivoted. "Get me a meeting," he told his assistant. Meanwhile, Jalen was overwhelmed. Radio interviews, podcast requests, independent labels offering distribution deals. One message stood out. Victor Kane. "Let's revisit our conversation." This time, Jalen didn't bring just a USB. He brought leverage. Streams printed on paper. Playlist placements. Engagement analytics. He walked into the same office. But the energy had shifted. Victor stood to greet him. "I may have underestimated the audience," Victor began carefully. Jalen held eye contact. "You underestimated me." Silence. Victor nodded once. "Fair." Then came the offer. Full production contract. Marketing support. National rollout. But there was a catch. Victor wanted creative control. Suggested tweaks to make it radio ready. More beat drops. More trend alignment. Jalen listened. Then asked one question. "If I change the honesty, what's left?" Victor didn't answer immediately, because this wasn't the same kid anymore. This was an artist with proof. Jalen turned down the deal. Politely, professionally. "I appreciate the opportunity," he said, "but I think I'm building something different." Victor studied him. Going independent is risky. "So is waiting for permission," Jalen replied. The meeting ended not hostile, but resolved. Within months, Jalen partnered with a smaller distribution company that respected his creative control. Invisible Crown crossed 50 million streams, then 75, then 100. Award nominations followed, all without a traditional gatekeeper. 1 year later, Jalen performed at a major music awards show. Live orchestra intro. Spotlight center stage. He told the story briefly before singing. This song was once called Unmarketable. The crowd murmured. He smiled. Turns out honesty markets itself. He performed with confidence, not arrogance. And when the camera panned across the audience, Victor Kane was there, clapping, standing, not as a gatekeeper, but as a witness. Because sometimes rejection isn't the end, it's the push. He was told he didn't have the look, didn't have the sound, didn't fit the market. But the market listened anyway. Because audiences don't crave perfection, they crave connection. And when the producer rejected him, he didn't argue, he uploaded. And sometimes, going viral isn't about luck. It's about being undeniable long enough for the world to catch up.